where what your route is and what roads we need to block, if any, and want you to stay on the sidewalk, you understand, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. I don't get mad at that. But when they call up going, you're not planning anything violent, are you? That's like calling them up and going, you're not planning to sell methamphetamine on the side of the street, are you? You know, it's just a way to demonize psychologically. I want to finish up with Maureen, who we haven't gotten to, and Chris, and at least Jason, and let Bob comment and Aaron comment. Then we're getting to part of a Giober Griffin interview on this whole issue. And we'll air the rest tonight. InfoWars Nightly News, 7 p.m., PrisonPlanet.tv. I want to see everybody out here in Dallas tonight. Be there with Paul Revere, 21st century, 1776 worldwide.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
A very wealthy U.S. citizen is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He says it will change everything about our lives. The way you shop, travel, invest, educate your children, and even how you take care of your health and your own family. Now, this man has made some outrageous predictions over the years. The crazy part is, he's usually right. You see, he predicted the collapse of GM, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and America's biggest mall owner, General Growth Properties. In fact, Barron's called his work a dire prophecy. Recently, he created a video, which you can watch online for free, detailing his biggest and most important prediction yet. And it's a real eye-opener. I can't stress this enough. You should at least watch this free video online today. He explains everything you need to know, including simple steps you can take to protect yourself. You can find the video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica, the number 3.com. Watch the free video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com. This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now, new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
Steve Shank here with a special alert from eFoods Direct. The stock market continues to crash and recrash daily. Since July, the market has dropped 15% with no signs of recovery. What does that mean to you? When stocks crash, jobs are lost, and you can't buy the food that's already too expensive and continues to raise in cost. eFoods just got notice that wholesale costs on pasta, rice, and beans will immediately jump 20%. The already high cost of sugar is tripling. If you invest in the stock market for security or save money in the bank, you continue to see the dollar drop in value while your weekly food bills increase. So what are you going to do? Get as much food now as you can. With these problems you're facing, eFoods Direct has no choice but to extend the free shipping another week to October 9th. Free shipping buys more food with shipping dollars. Call 800-409-5633 or go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex. Call 800-409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com/Alex. You can bet your life on eFoods Direct.
We are back live and starting at around 5 p.m. I said officially 6 to 8 because previously I was going to stay in Austin, do the first few hours of the radio show, drive up to the event. But then my mother called and pointed out, you know, it's Texas OU weekend. There'll be a lot of traffic on I-35. So we went ahead and came up the night before. But I'm looking out at the traffic here downtown. There's really nothing. So everybody get in here this evening. And yes, we're going to be peaceful and nice, but we're going to draw media attention, as Dallasites and Texans did yesterday, to the private Federal Reserve, as Texans did in San Antonio, as Bostonians did in Boston, as New Yorkers did in New York. And we're going to draw attention to these guys and point out they're the people running the show, the insiders that get to create the money and use it for themselves, and then put us into debt nationally for money they get. It's incredible. Now, I wanted to finish up with Chris in Texas with Bob Chapman and then go to Maureen and Jason, and that's it because I got to go to this Gilbert Griffin interview, and then Aaron will take us out of the show here, and I'll see you all tonight at InfoWars Nightly News that Aaron's going to be hosting, but we'll have reports on there, perhaps even live from the ground. We'll see what happens this evening. We couldn't do this, by the way, without the dedication of our incredible job they're doing, and you, the listeners that buy the books, the videos, the DVDs, the PrisonPlanet.tv memberships. You are supporting this. Finishing up, Chris, down in San Antonio, what do you think of the, you're saying the cops are real nice to you in San Antonio. We went to break, and I found out the Dallas police are calling our office, a whole bunch of different ones, lieutenants, sergeants, people calling themselves the chief. We've got the head of the Dallas Federal Reserve saying he loves us now, or whatever. So they're definitely circling the wagons, I guess, for the bright lights of publicity. You know, I believe the pen is mightier than the sword, and they've profiled Alejandro Jones. They know this isn't violent, well, what's coming tonight, unless they're hiring provocateurs.
I think they must be scared of you. We'll see how they act Sunday when you get down here, because, you know, I'm not saying so much that they were super nice to us, but, you know, you can just, they weren't being negative, and maybe they.
Oh, the Dallas cops here 3 years ago were really nice. They told us they agreed with us, and so that's fine. This is the politician cops that are calling us.
Say, what do you think about this? The city council and the park police have given us permission to occupy Hemisphere Park downtown and to literally set up camp. Stay there indefinitely until.
Well, again, they're giving you permission because you always had it under the First Amendment, and they've been told by the establishment, revolution's coming, you better play nice. See, the redcoats started cracking heads in 1775 and the years before that, and it resulted in the real deal. So they're trying to screw us right now, but act friendly. Great points. I look forward to seeing you Sunday down there, 10 a.m. to noon, and I hope you guys occupy down there. That's wonderful. Bob Chapman, what do you think of that?
I think the best thing to do is be gentlemen and ladies and just expound the truth and stay well within the confines of the law. And every time they look at you, give them a big smile.
Yeah, I'm not even worried about that point. I quite frankly, there always will be some provocateurs, but whatever. I love it. That means we're winning when they resort to that. Okay, let's go to Maureen in, I guess that's Virginia. Thank you for holding so long. We've had a lot of breaking news. Welcome to the airwaves.
Thank you. I can now understand why our Savior used a whip on the money changers. I would like to do the same, but that's not okay.
Oh, yeah, that's Al-Qaeda.
Of course. Anyway, do you know who Louis T. McFadden was, the congressman that was murdered after he gave us HJR 192 in Public Law 73?
Yes.
Okay. I've got a feeling we need to use what he gave us to get rid of the national debt. Our bodies have been monetized. The way to get rid of the national debt, it is owed to us, the people. When we were born, they turned us into all capital letter corporations, and they printed up Federal Reserve notes with the same numbers as are on the back of our Social Security numbers.
Well, they do monetize us. We do pledge our our bodies and our tax money to fund their whole system. You know, for those that haven't really read the Bible, Christ wasn't going after the priests for selling pigeons for sacrifice. He was going after them because they made you buy a special coin that was in limited circulation for like 20 times what it was worth. You had to buy that coin to then buy a sacrifice, whether it was a lamb, whatever the case was. And that was a form of money manipulation. And he went in and turned over the tables and beat them. But nowadays, the Dallas police would, you know what they do to Jesus because he's bad, I guess. But we're not doing that here. We're just identifying, we're the den of vipers. Any other comments on that, ma'am?
Yeah, if anybody listening knows about the original 13th Amendment, which basically was stolen, I know they've got one archived in Richmond, Virginia. Basically, it said no one with the title of nobility, meaning esquire, meaning lawyer, can hold any office in this government. That would take care of a whole lot of problems.
That's actually that's in the Constitution. I forget the section, but I've read it on air before that you can't serve a foreign power or take a foreign title when you're in the executive branch. That's why Obama becoming the head of the UN Security Council a few years ago was such a big deal. It violates Article 1, Section 9. I'm going from memory here. Bob, what section is that?
Don't ask me. I'm old. I can't remember.
I know it's on the back of my Fall of the Republic DVD. Great points, ma'am. Good to hear from you. Comments on what she's bringing up about Christ and the money changers, Bob?
Well, I think it's a good point. And I think that people have to look within the whole situation in order to identify really what it's all about, not only the case of the money changers, but all of the things that we're talking about. What is subliminally underneath all of this? Where is this headed? Where are they trying to take it?
Notice, though, the people Christ was fighting 2,000 plus years ago, the people George Washington was fighting, the people Andrew Jackson was fighting, the people Louis T. McFadden and Lindbergh were fighting, is the very same type of system today.
Absolutely. And, you know, to an extent, it's the same cast of characters in families. And they've evolved through the centuries. And that's one of the things that most people don't know nor understand, that this is really nothing new. And now that we know how they did it before, when they were successful or unsuccessful, we can use that to stop them. And that's exactly what you're doing.
Well, that's the secret. The globalists do study history, and they hope we don't ever look at it, because then the whole blueprint of how humans operate is right there. You get the playbook.
Exactly. And you know, I repeat this over and over again. You and I and people like us need help in informing people of really what's going on. And so the people who are going to become engaged in that, and I hope there's lots of them, they should study history, because it's very, very important.
And very, very interesting and entertaining as well, in a horrific way sometimes. Final comments from Aaron Dykes, because we're going to talk to Jason for like a minute and then go to the G. Edward Griffin thing, and then Aaron will take us out at the very end of the show today. But most of this segment that's left, and the next segment will be the G. Edward Griffin interview, and then the second unaired part tonight, 7 p.m. Central. It'll be at the end of the show on InfoWars Nightly News at prisonplanet.tv. But any closing comments on money changers and what we were just talking about, Aaron?
Yeah, Alex, it is a larger system, and I think the important thing today with Occupy the Federal Reserve is an education opportunity. It's a very good sign that many of the Occupy Wall Streeters, whatever their original reason for going down there is, are associating with the Federal Reserve people. But even if they are on the far left or whatever side, it's important to educate them that the Federal Reserve was the sort of wicked instrument of the bailout. They were the ones who absorbed secret trillions on their balance sheets, secretly gave to foreign banks, and it took people on the far left like Bernie Sanders to call out Bernanke, who had the audacity to say, no, Congress has no right to know on the floor of the House and everything, or the Senate rather. And I think we need to remind them of that as they roll out the predictable intimidation tactics, because, of course, the pen is mightier than the sword. And that's why they've used platforms like Facebook and Twitter in the Arab Spring. But if you use it for the Federal Reserve to educate people there, that's why they're cracking down, profiling key bloggers. And that's why they're calling up people like Alex Jones when they want to go down physically to the Federal Reserve and send a message.
Well, I'll say this. We are nonviolent, because that's the best way. We are trying to educate people. When I call the police, I'll call them back after the show ends here in a few minutes and then talk to them. We're here to be educational, but the only time Christ ever got violent in his whole life was with the bankers, with the money changers, with the manipulators. And he turned over tables and beat them in just a energetic rampage with a cat o' nine tail. Beat them with a whip, with a rope. I mean, what does that tell you right there? If you're a Christian, I mean, this is the evil. This is the parasitic system. This is it. This is the enemy, not capitalism and free market and property rights. It's just incredible what they've turned us into. In closing, you're our tail gunner, Jason in Texas. Go ahead, sir.
Hey, how's it going today?
Good. Thanks for holding, sir. Welcome.
All right, I got one comment. I'm going to Dallas. I'm going to be there from Friday to like Sunday at midnight. Anybody that's going there that's got a copy of The Creature from Jekyll Island from Webster Griffin G. Edward Griffin, bring it down and educate those that occupy Dallas with it. Bookmark the highlights of the book, teach them about the Council on Foreign Relations, expose the money changers and the hierarchy of the governmental structure.